Dogs who rush over to see other dogs on a walk are often considered to be really friendly, really playful and really sociable, but this couldn't be further from the truth. These dogs are often highly frustrated. They're not getting the social outlet that they need, and when they're approaching other dogs like that, they're lacking all the proper doggy etiquette that comes into greetings. They're not reading communication skills properly, and they're not reading and responding what's actually happening in the canine conversation. They're not asking from a distance, would you like to say hello? Instead, they're just fueled with this frustration of needing to say hello to another dog and then rushing over to them. Some dogs are like this with people too. They absolutely crave the human attention. They really need it, and that comes out looking like jumping all over people, humping them sometimes, leaping here, there and everywhere and mugging them for food, and just generally being really quite OTT. Now this can show up with anxiety too, but it's more commonly a trait of frustration. So what does a well-socialised dog look like? Now what this will look like is the dog can see another dog in the environment who's appeared, and they can just continue as they were doing. They see it, they acknowledge it, they might carry on sniffing, and they might keep exploring and doing exactly as they were. They might have been interacting with their owner or with other dogs, and they can just continue doing that. So the dog being there isn't particularly relevant. Yeah, it's a dog, yeah, it might come over, but never mind. Now you don't want to get confused with this with a dog who's actively avoiding other dogs. So some dogs will see another dog and then immediately put their nose down to the ground and start looking for imaginary blades of grass to start sniffing. This is called displacement behaviour, and this is when a dog is actually not socially confident at all and really would rather not say hello. So they pretend they can't see the dog instead, and they busy themselves doing imaginary things that aren't really there. So what you want is a nice happy medium. A dog who can see a dog and just go, okay, I'll just carry on as I was, and then as that dog approaches and gets a bit closer, then they start to engage in that social conversation of maybe approaching each other calmly, gently, slowly, not stalking, but just in a slow manner, that normal walk pace that they have. And you see that loose body language, so that happy loose body language. There's no stiffness, there's no tight up tails, and there's no real hard staring going on. You may see some lip licking, as I just did, like this. A bit of blinking, slow blinking, looking away, looking like past the dog rather than at them, so that they're not staring, and seeing dogs going to each other's back ends as well. Now some dogs will greet head on, and that sometimes has been conditioned because in the human world we walk on straight paths and we kind of condition dogs to like walk at something. But the more dogs are freely off lead with other dogs, usually they will try and go to the back ends if they're trying to say hello. That's where the scent is, that's where they get to find out all the information about each other, and that is the polite way to greet another dog. So if you have one of these dogs who is charging across a field to go and see another dog, and they are not really reading what's happening, what they are likely to be struggling with is the barrier frustration and the greeting skills that it takes to meet another dog and to be able to be around another dog. So I'm going to put some information in the description for you so that you can have a read through of the most common types of dog who are going to be like this. Now I mentioned freedom before. Dogs who are freely allowed to mingle with dogs and meet a dog and move on are less likely to show this behaviour. However, dogs who are only walked freely with dogs, so they are group walked, or they are in daycare kind of situations, or they live in multi-dog households where of course they're always free together, this is where you're most likely to see this kind of behaviour show up, because they have that need to be where all the other dogs are and that high arousal around other dogs, and they often lose their greeting skills. So anyway, I'm going to put some things in the description for you to have a read through. Let me know what your dog's social skills are like. Is your dog a polite greeter? Is your dog well mannered and generally quite sociable? Are they frustrated? Do they lack social doggy etiquette? Or would they rather not say hello at all? Are they actually quite happy just in their own company and would rather be in their own bubble and not see other dogs? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments.